What's up, folks? How's it going? Welcome back to Quarter Life Chit Chat, your go-to podcast where I share stories from my past, delve into the history of me being an immigrant, tell you funny things, and occasionally hold book reviews like I did for last week's episode. P.S. If you're a bookworm like me and you haven't listened to the episode where I talk about the books that I read this past spring, give the last episode a listen. I feel like you'll like it. And if you love the internet and also understand that people on the internet are fucking psychotic, then today's episode is perfectly for you. Because today, I'm going to be nosediving into the cesspool of the internet that is Am I the Asshole subreddit. It's been a long while since I have judged people on the internet and listened to their chaotic and ridiculous stories. So I was like, hey, why don't I jump back into the Reddit stories? And I know what you might be thinking. Nav, why are you judging weird people on the internet? Why are you going to be reading stories from crazy people? Well, for starters, I'm crazy myself. And secondly, I love reading stories from the subreddit because it makes me feel like Judge Judy but with a Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any moral high ground to listen and judge these crazy stories, but it just feels right. So, without further ado, let's get into the spicy drama, the spicy stories I've chosen. Also, disclaimer, by the time I'm recording this episode, it's like 4:30 p.m. and the street outside my house is a bit busy. So if you hear any like car noises, anything, just don't be a pussy-o and just deal with it. Okay. Here's the first story. Am I the asshole for returning my wife's shoes? I'm already gonna predict that he's gonna be the asshole based on that title. But hey, let's jump into it. Let's see what happens. Here we go. My wife was at the doctor's... My wife? Okay. My wife was at the doctor's clinic for our baby's 2-week checkup when I stumbled upon new purchases in her closet. As in shoes, flip-flops, sandals, etc. that looked pretty close to the ones that she already had in her closet and that she bought earlier this year in preparation for, I guess, summer. Except the shoes were much bigger than the ones she bought previously. This is our wife's first baby, and to be honest, what I noticed more than anything is the fact that her feet have gotten swollen, wider and longer as her pregnancy progressed. Okay, man. I listen. I feel like my prediction of this guy being an asshole is gonna come true. Anyways, let's continue. But more than that, my wife said that her feet are supposed to shrink after pregnancy and that the weight loss is a big part of it. So I was upset that my wife would just spend all this money on new shoes when she barely goes anywhere outside of either her bedroom or our baby's room. And should she be gunning for weight loss instead of throwing in the towel? And I thought it was an impulsive purchase and that in the end she was going to waste money and disincentivize herself from losing weight and look for solutions for her swollen feet. As a result, I ended up taking the shoes back and getting refunds. Now my wife is pissed, and I feel like she's going to assume that... Oh, Jesus Christ. Now my wife is pissed, and I feel like she's going to refuse to lose weight out of spite. So Reddit, am I the asshole? I can't help feeling not attracted to her, and unfortunately the state of her feet is something I notice very clearly. And I'm also still mad that she used my money without permission and tempted to cut up the credit cards she used as she's going to make a compulsive buy. Bro, this guy's a fucking asshole. Bro, this guy... Dude, okay. I predicted this guy's gonna be the asshole and he was the asshole. Homie, okay, it's not about, wife buying shoes. I think it is about the fact that his wife is pregnant and during pregnancy, the wife has gained weight. He doesn't like that. So he returned the shoes as a way to make sure that the wife is going to end up losing weight instead of having bigger shoes that will cause her basically not to lose weight. I'm just going to say, based on all the stories I've heard and all the things I've listened to, if your partner is pregnant, do everything that they say, okay? They're carrying a fucking child, and at that time, it's best that you yourself don't act like a fucking child. This guy's acting like a fucking child. Oh, man. Let's go into some comments here. This first comment says, this is a troll, right? You can't be serious. Just in case, you're an absolutely the fucking asshole. 2 weeks postpartum and you want her working on weight loss. Let's ignore the fact that she just carried another human for months and delivered it. And she needs to recover from a major medical event that this is. You realize weight loss isn't instant, right? So it's summer. She needs shoes that fit that are going to be comfortable for the fucking season. Actually, you know she's interested, so I know a quick way that she can lose 100 plus pounds. Divorce you. Accurate as fuck. It's accurate as fuck. Your wife just had a child, and this guy's saying, oh, she doesn't leave my bedroom or the baby's room. So why does she need bigger, comfy shoes? She should basically lose weight. The next comment here says, you're the asshole for multiple reasons. One is that the woman's feet never go back to pre-pregnancy size. The ligaments in her feet are stretched out and don't completely rebound due to hormones. Two is, if you cut up the credit cards to prevent her from making purchases, you see commuting financial abuse. Yeah, this guy at the end of his story says, I'm also tempted to cut up the credit cards that she uses, so she's not going to make another impulsive buy. Man, this guy's a fucking asshole. And once again, my prediction was right. And with that, I'm going to jump into the next story. Now, this next story is from the subreddit True Off My Chest, which means they're just confessions that people made. And I know nothing about the story except I found the title of the story or the confession exceptionally funny. So here we go. Surgeon made fun of my penis. I am 32 years old male, and at the time, I'm currently a big dude of 6 feet and weigh 250 pounds. And I look like a drunk pirate. I had to have a big surgery on my calves because of certain vein issues. So, the day of the surgery, I was told to get completely undressed and put in some generic open back gown, which, due to my frame, made me look like Donald Duck. I was led by this nurse to an empty, cold room with a cold metal table. They administered some local anesthesia to my legs, and after about 10 minutes laying naked in a cold, brightly lit room, waiting to be sliced up, 2 doctors stroll in. I was extremely nervous, extremely cold, and extremely self-conscious, so I decided to stay still. The nurse says, anesthesia was given, the patient is ready. Doctor 1 walks to the table and says, wow, what a big fucker and such a small dick. Dude, what the fuck? Doctor 2 just laughs in his face hysterically. I look at the doctor and say, what? And the nurse, in absolute panic, goes, oh no, you have the wrong patient file. This one isn't fully sedated one. He's wide awake. Doctor 1 and Doctor 2 are completely stunned and look at each other and stares. I look at them and I say, what? So yeah, nobody said another word for me for the rest of the operation. Just 200 decibels of awkward silence as they ripped into my calves, and I felt like Ricky Gervais wrote this scene. I should have just walked out, but I was too shocked to even think what just happened. Did the doctor just take me as the wrong patient and also proceeded to call my penis small as fuck? When they were done, they exchanged some quiet words with the nurse and quickly walked out. It was a bit shocking, but I quickly laughed it off. I mean, they weren't wrong. I am a big man. I do have some small penis. Some people, I guess. Dude, I just want to say, just imagine sitting in a cold room and then you just get made fun of your penis by a doctor. Dude, this shouldn't be happening in the medical field at all. Like, homie's just going to a surgery room to get his calf fixed and is catching fucking strays. That's wild to me. But let's open the comment section here, see what some people say. The most liked comment is, I once showed up to my vasectomy. I'm a 6'5" dude, and I weigh 350 pounds. The doctor and the nurse had a student training and asked if it was okay that she sat in. I literally responded with, and I quote, yeah, that's fine, but for the fucking record, before 3 people see my junk, the room is cold as shit. The person commented to this person saying, excuse me, doctor, but I just want to be sure that the student is familiar with the shrinkage before we proceed. Holy fuck, dude. Oh my god. that's That's absolutely gold. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Wow, that's some of the funniest thing I have read, and I don't think I've laughed this hard in like at least a week. Holy fuck. What's up, people? It is Present Nav here, who is editing this episode on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Unfortunately, I actually had 2 or maybe 3 more stories in this episode, but looks like my mic started acting up, and I started sounding like Terminator gargling some fucking expired engine oil. Unfortunately, because of that, I had to cut the stories, but to make up for it, next week's episode is going to be another Reddit episode. Okay, back to Past Nav, who's editing this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the wild confession and the really funny story of this guy getting bullied by his doctors. If you like this episode, let me know. I feel like in the future I'm probably going to keep doing a bit more Reddit episodes. I feel like these are pretty lighthearted, funny, entertaining. So, yeah, I feel like this will be a common occurrence. I'll be back next week with another episode. Hasta la vista, folks. Bye-bye!